Hey Sev, want to play Overwatch 2? It's the exact same game as Overwatch, but there are queues and it crashes all the time. And I guess they added a couple of new heroes.
It sounds like a fantastic game.
Yeah, that's pretty much been my experience at least the past few weeks. Is it likes to boot me out and very long queues and yeah, that's pretty much been the Overwatch 2 experience for the most part.
Yeah, it hasn't been the greatest at all times. I've noticed that like part of the problems is that when we go ahead and you and I were just playing a game like 2 days ago, and in the game
Hmm.
we started making a pushback, and then we had in total an entire team, 5 people that we all were on Discord, and just you and I got kicked. That was just
Yep.
like, oh, sorry. It's like, oh, okay, great, thanks, Blizzard. We got
Yeah.
kicked from there, and we got right back into a queue for some reason to log into Overwatch.
Yeah.
So I don't know what Blizzard's doing. No longer a DDoS issue. They can blame it on. I don't know what's going on. I also noticed there's longer queue times to log to like for quick play and other things than I would think there would be with how
Mm.
many people they say are playing. I don't know. Or
Yeah.
maybe everyone's just playing
Yeah.
DPS and tank, and no one wants to play support.
Maybe. That's why I like the open queue personally, and then
Oh yeah, yeah.
you don't
Even
have to
even
choose.
in
But
open queue, I have like a wait longer than
oh
I
really?
expect. Yeah.
I haven't had too much an issue when I am able to play, or when you and I have played together. I don't notice it taking too long, but you have played more than I have in the past couple of weeks,
Mm.
so you would know better. I don't know. Everything seems like the exact same game. I'm sure they did make the graphics better or something. It looks the exact same way to me personally. I don't see anything too different. They changed the lighting on some maps. They added some new maps, and they changed a few of the heroes around. And they did add 3 new heroes, but yeah, that's the extent of what Overwatch 2 is.
From
It's literally Overwatch 1.2 is my opinion. But
is it though? Like okay, so let's look at this. How many maps did Overwatch 1 release with?
I couldn't tell you off the
How
top of
many
my head.
maps did Overwatch have? This is so there are originally 12 maps. Okay. So,
Hmm.
Overwatch 1 released with 2 maps. Um
12.
12 maps, sorry. So, how many of them are just oh, we just made it from night to day? Cuz
I
this one's
think
saying
according to what I see, there are 6 new maps. That those aren't like the differently lit
and
maps.
how many of those maps are probably just
Like
from like coming from PvE and they just threw them into the PvP.
I'm not sure. I know at least 2 or 3 of them are the new style of the I forget what they call it, but where the robot pushes the
Mm,
barricade. Which I don't really personally like that new mode, but I mean it's okay, but it's just not my favorite.
I just think that it seems like they didn't release with much. We don't even have the PvE yet. Who knows when
Yeah.
that's coming out? I am just,
Hmm.
just kind of disappointed with what they have done so far with the game. Um,
It's basically just a big
yeah, it's
update,
just like you might as well
really.
say this is a big
It's
patch. Released a, Overwatch 1.5 patch.
which is probably why they knew they couldn't charge for it and they made it just free.
Yeah,
So that's their new, making money method, but
yeah. No wonder why they didn't call it a sequel because it's not.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I think it's kind of crazy. So we did see that they did change some of the previous heroes a little bit. Looks like they got quite a bit of stuns, quite a bit. They got rid of They
Hmm.
did change the gameplay somewhat, which is get rid of stuns and less shielding, and they reduced you
Hmm.
from 6 heroes to 5 heroes. So more or less, you should have like 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 2 heal supports, right?
Hmm.
So
I think that's what the locked in queue
Yeah,
is,
that's the
right?
locked in queue.
Whereas the open queue, you can do whatever. But which a lot of times I'll see people do like two two tanks, two damage, one
Mm.
heal, or even sometimes one damage, two tanks, two heal. I, I do like it better because it allows you to kind of change up your strategy a little bit more depending on what's going on, which I find that a lot better than just being like, oh, you queued as a tank, now you can only be a tank.
Yeah, I think the other thing I've seen is that I've been in some games where it's been three tanks, and
That's not smart
yeah,
anymore.
it's well. I think part of it is that because of the meta that Blizzard made, which is that you have one tank, is what they've done is they boosted the tank damage from what I've seen on the tanks.
Mm,
So your tanks do quite a bit of damage. Like I've been a tank before
yeah,
and done quite often more damage than the DPS has, and
yeah,
that just as the tank. Whether or not that means the DPS weren't as good, I don't know. But I've done more damage as the tank and everything, so I just kind of feel that like from seeing that and what I've heard is that like they've increased the damage on the tanks to make up for that lack of um, the other slot, taking it from a 6 to a 5. So it kind of makes sense if like you're playing and you do three tanks. I mean, you got three beefy people with three damage still. It's not a
yeah,
terrible combination. I don't know how it is at higher end gameplay. We're more like I feel average Joe players. So
yeah, yeah. I don't know how that would be like, how that affects things at their Overwatch League and all that stuff, but which I think in a way for the regular player, I think the Overwatch League has kind of, or them wanting it to be a e-sport has sort of been detrimental. Would be my opinion. All the way going back into Overwatch One, a lot of the changes they made that I didn't like, um, the locked in queue for one, was they pretty much did it specifically for their silly Overwatch League. So that's kind of my general complaint the last few years, because I really enjoyed Overwatch when it first came out. Played it pretty much every day for like a year, and then it kind of started to get crappier and crappier to where I played it less and less and less. But
um yeah, I would say we could we could start from there too. Is talk about the how the battle pass is. Because like
yeah,
the thing is that like the battle pass is the only thing you use to rank up, right? And so from
right.
I don't have that many hours into um I have less hours than quite a bit less hours than you do on Overwatch 1. And from what you could rank up in Overwatch 1 your
Mm-hmm,
levels, right? And that's how you could progress your
mm-hmm,
level system, right? But like now you don't have that. All you have is the battle pass leveling system, right? Which means that like you're literally level that up and it gets erased every 60 days about, right? So
mm-hmm.
I guess I don't get that. There's no like long-term progression in the new Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
There's just the battle pass. Once you have maxed out your battle pass goes all the way up to 200, I think, by the way, now. Did you know that?
Mm-mm.
So what
No.
happens with the battle pass now is that you get to level 80. So you have level 80 gets you essentially to the mythic skin. Then
Mm-hmm.
after that, there is titles you unlock for
Mm.
the battle pass. And I think like basically there's different titles. You get at tier 85, you get Nomad, 95 Neogun, 105 Street Runner, and then they spread out even more where you get
Mm.
like Bite Fixer at 120, Netbreaker at 135, Data Broker at 155, and 175 Techno Knight and 200 Cyber Demon. So like
Mm.
you need to play like a lot to get that. I mean,
That's probably, I don't know, at least 100 hours, if not more, probably.
yeah, yeah. I think like it's just kind of like I don't know. It's kind of ridiculous in my opinion that like the amount of time it takes to really level through this, and you only literally have 60 days to level it, and then another battle pass like thing. I don't know.
Mm.
I kind of like the old way of leveling of like you had a thing where you like consistent. Maybe if they could have mixed something with like the battle pass and the like your old leveling system. Do you know? Did you hear why they got rid of the old leveling system?
Well, I mean, the main reason obviously is because it didn't make them any money.
It's true. Especially,
But I mean, the battle pass, obviously, people are going to be like, especially if you didn't, if you just don't buy the battle pass, if you end up getting to level 100 or whatever anyway, you might be like, oh, I might as well, and then you unlock everything. More than likely, though, it's probably going to be people just buying it because then they can get stuff. Right from the get go rather than waiting until you even leveled up the battle pass. Um, I, I personally, there's not a whole lot in the battle pass that even appeals to me, um, but I would say that that's pretty much the reason they got rid of it. They'll also cite things like oh, well, it lends towards the, toxic, player base, being like, I'm this level and so I'm better than you kind of thing. And which doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me because I've always said it, and I don't know if this is the general people's opinion or just mine, but I've seen people that, if you're good at shooters, you could probably jump into this game at level 1 and beat somebody in it that was, level 500 or something. Because time spent in the game, yeah, you're going to be more experienced and be able to do better. But in general, that doesn't necessarily show uh, your skill. It just shows your amount of experience. And sometimes just having the skill in a shooter is going to beat somebody that's played a lot more than you.
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I don't know if that's the reason they got rid of it. I know they've cited like a lot of their changes were because of, toxic things. And I'm like, you're not going to get rid of toxic people or people that just want to be jerks online because people that want to be jerks online are just going to be that. Like, you're not going to stop them.
Oh yeah, especially when you get such a large community. You're going to.
I'm not saying to do nothing, by the way, but I just don't think that that's the way to do it. The reason they got rid of it was, and they might use that as an excuse, is so that they can more easily implement their battle pass and so that they can make more money.
Yeah. That is. Yeah, I just think that makes sense. Probably why they did it, and it just. I don't know. It kind of sucks because it doesn't feel like. It just feels like you're only progressing through the battle pass and resets. I guess the one thing I would say is that the benefit for doing something like this and switching it up is that, and especially with the titles and stuff like that they're doing, is it makes it so people that play the game a lot, they're always something to progress to. So
Yeah, that's true. I don't disagree with that because before, if you were able to buy the skin you wanted or even earn it through playing, you might earn it in the first 5 or 6 hours of playing, get the skins you wanted by just leveling up and getting loot boxes that way. Whereas now you have to go through the full 100 200 levels if you want to get all of the stuff, or even just one thing that's like later. I know there was one thing on the pass that I looked at, I was like, oh, that's kind of neat, and it's like level 80, but whether I make it there or not, I don't know.
well, you didn't buy the battle pass, right? Yeah,
No,
and
no.
I bought the battle pass as a silly guy. So
Yeah, why don't you tell us why you bought the battle pass?
I don't read. I was meant to lead.
He wasn't elected to read.
So like essentially, yeah, I bought the paddle pass because I didn't do much reading, and I thought from all the thing I heard is like, oh, you need to buy the battle pass or level to level 55 to unlock Kiriko. And I was like, well, I want to unlock Kiriko, right? Because when you looked in the heroes menu, it showed her as locked, right? And I was like, oh, I need to like, I'll just buy the battle pass. I can unlock it. And well, I did that. And I didn't realize that if I would have played a game of quick play, I would have easily been able to just play her anyway.
Yeah. Because from what I understand, if you owned Overwatch 1, you unlocked her right off the bat.
Yes, that is the case.
Yeah, so that's...
Yep.
Yep.
So talking about Kiriko, I think the one thing is I think, and you and I had talks before this, and I still think it's stupid. Even though I
Hmm.
did buy the battle pass, I won't lie, I still think it's stupid. Um, I told you when we first talked, when I heard about this, I was like, unlocking heroes through the battle pass is dumb. And I get that like
Hmm.
companies need to make money and stuff like that, but I still think locking hero like so right now in competitive mode you can play Kiriko, but the problem is if you've been playing it like you have to get the level 55 to do that. And I went on, I like
Hmm.
looked on Reddit and some other places, and I saw plenty of people were not even level 55 yet. You're not even level 55 yet. I,
No,
I,
no.
I checked. I have over 20. I think I have like 25 hours or something like that into the game. I bought the battle pass, so I have the boost on top of it. I am still have not unlocked level 55 yet, so I'm not even there yet. So I think I'm somewhere on like early 50s, 52, 53 now, about with like 25 plus hours. So like the problem is that I'm not doing, I guess, the dailies every day.
Mm.
You got to do the
Hmm.
dailies and the weeklies, and that would totally help you like level up your battle pass faster. Because the minuscule amount of points the XP you get from just the game without doing the dailies is so insignificant. It kind of makes like after you do your dailies, why even play the dang game after that? Because you're not really unlocking the battle
Yeah.
pass anymore. Because it's you don't get a lot as the much as you initially get from the
Hmm.
boost. So like my complaint is still I don't think that heroes should be locked behind the battle pass. I don't like the way Apex Legends does it. I don't like the way, even though it's a free to play game, like, I don't know, in my
Hmm.
opinion, have people play your game. Like, if your game's not fun to begin with, then, like, you're just, it's kind of like mobile games. Like, mobile games, in my opinion, do this crap where they try to make you, like, keep coming back for, like, do a daily login type of thing, right? And,
Hmm.
to kind of give you that dopamine hit, but they don't want you to like continuously, unless you're going to pay them money, play like for long periods of time. And that's kind of like what some of these games are doing. And I don't like it that they're making you come back constantly just to kind of like work to unlock stuff or whatever. That doesn't really like, especially with Overwatch, because Overwatch, man, like you and I had this conversation. We were talking about how in Overwatch compared to like say Valorant, abilities matter way more in
Hmm.
Overwatch
Yeah.
than they do Valorant, because in Overwatch your heroes have every hero has different weapons, different skills, like they play completely different.
Yeah. Yep. Nobody shares like any sort of weapon or anything. Everybody has something different. Whereas like at least in Valorant and Apex, everybody is technically at least weapon wise on the same playing field. Like you can get whatever sort of weapon and use it. Um, like whereas like Reaper's shotguns are not the same as Widowmaker's sniper rifle. Plus add on to that their actual abilities. Most of them are on a very short cooldown. You can use them all the time. Whereas in Valorant and Apex, um, they are typically, well, Valorant, it's not really a cooldown at all. You have to buy them each round, and then you only have so many charges for most of them. Apex is something different entirely, and their abilities vary. But um, yeah, it's you're right. It's Overwatch. Uh, the way that it's balanced and stuff is, first of all, it's almost impossible to balance with everybody being different. There can't really be a balance. Like, Reaper is never going to be as good at range with his shotguns as Ash or Widowmaker or whatever has a scoped weapon. So it's never really going to be a balance. I don't know, but they spend an awful lot of time trying to balance their stuff. I mean, Blizzard did this with WoW too, where they, World of Warcraft, they try to balance these classes so that like everybody is on somewhat of a even playing field, and it's just not really possible. But yeah, that's what they do.
Yeah, I think like I don't know. I really, because the thing about it is like in Apex Legends, right? I don't know if I enjoy playing a hero until you unlock it. After you work, you either can pay them money, right? I get it's a free to play. You shouldn't complain too much, right? But like even when it comes to like buying skins and things in these type of games, I personally wish they were cheaper. I think I would spend more money in their game if the stuff was cheaper, right? Like I don't think I've really don't know if I've ever really bought much in Apex Legends, more than like
Mm.
$10 at one my entire
Yeah.
time I've had the game or whatever. I forget,
All right.
but it was like because it's just in my opinion. If you would be like, hey, this is like like in Overwatch 2, you have skins right now that are $20 skins. I'm like, I am never buying that $20 skin. Like
Right.
that's just way
Yeah.
too much for me for a
Hmm.
like that when on top of it I'm already buying the battle pass, and buying the battle pass is like your
Yeah.
best bet right now because you can unlock, I think it's essentially 8 skins, and you get like a mix of like I forget how many total like epic and legendary skins, and then you get a mythic skin at the end and a bunch of other stuff with it. It's like your best in their money economy. It's the best value of anything you'd spend your
Right.
money on. So like, yeah, that's just my opinion.
Except for, yeah. The only issue with that in general is like the heroes right now. They're not heroes I ever play.
Yep.
Like I don't touch
Yep.
Genji. Like I don't care about his mythic skin. Like I don't know. It doesn't do anything for me. And they don't give you like some other battle passes and games will give you
Mm-hmm.
currency. They don't give you currency in this battle pass, so you can't even earn currency through the battle pass to then buy your own skins.
Didn't
Um,
act.
which I think Call of Duty
Yeah.
does that. I don't know if Apex does that. I want to say they do, but I won't swear to it because it's been a little bit since I've played Apex. Um, but yeah, just in general, like I think that's a good way to do it. To have some of the currency in the battle pass. Um, they don't do that, so you can't even get skins from the shop. You have to spend money, and the only other way to get currency is I think through the weeklies, and even then I think we did the math on that you would have to over like a year you might have enough if you did the weeklies every week you might have enough to get like one legendary skin or whatever. Is that
you
right?
would
Or a
you
mythic
would
skin or
get you would
whatever.
essentially get 3,000 something uh Overwatch bucks. That's what I'm
Mm.
gonna call them. So you get 3,000 Overwatch bucks, which is that is enough to buy one skin, legendary skin that's around 1,900 Overwatch,
Mm-hmm.
and then you buy the battle pass, which is 1,000. Or so you can either buy like 3 battle passes a year. I think there's a total of like 6 battle passes a year or something like that. So you could
Mm-hmm.
buy 3 battle passes a year, or you could buy a legendary skin and a an over battle pass. Uh, so
Mm. Or a
or
lesser
a lesser
skin
skin,
of
yeah.
some sort. Yeah.
I would say I wanted to
Um.
say real quickly though that I think the mythic skin is kind of a cool thing they brought along because I don't know if you looked
Mm-hmm.
at the Genji. Like I also do not play Genji. But I'm excited
Mm-hmm.
to see what they do with other mythic skins. So this is a positive note towards Blizzard.
Yeah.
With the mythic
Yeah.
skin, you can change is basically his sword. With the mythic skin, so you have like 2 options for weapons types.
Mm.
Then you also can change his like tattoos. They give you 3 different options for different tattoos on his body. Then you have another 3 options for different like masks that go with that suit. And then on top of it,
Mm-hmm.
you have 3 color palettes to choose from. Coordinate like they come with different colors, right? To choose with that
Yeah.
skin. So it gives you a lot more customization with your character. So I think the mythic skin is really cool in that respect.
Yeah. I don't disagree. Like it's yeah. I mean that's cool. I just would never use it anyway because I don't play Genji.
Right.
But otherwise, like say if it was Reaper or somebody else that I play. I mean I play Reaper the most by far. But um uh if it was somebody like that, like I would maybe consider getting the battle pass.
Mhm.
But otherwise, like I just don't see a lot in there. Like even leading up to the level 100 and the mythic skin, there isn't a whole lot for me. Um, it was for a lot of characters, so it's going to be hit or miss, I think, and you're just going to have to check to see if you give a crap about what's in the battle pass, or if you're one of these completionist peoples, or maybe if you have mommy's credit card, um, you could get it anyway. I
Yeah, I
suppose.
think that's going to be the best thing is like, I guess how I would play Overwatch right now is in getting the battle passes stuff. Like, if you want to play all the time, then do whatever, however many times you want to play it. But if you just, I would say, if you like playing Overwatch and you are basically you don't want to spend any money, you get the 3,000 coins through the year or whatever. Just use it on probably the 3 battle passes that have the best stuff, or whatever battle passes have the things that you want. And like you said, I agree. Like, just that I think that would probably be the best way if you wanted to be the cheapest with Overwatch. Because like you said, this is one of the games that I feel like you come back to, but you don't need to be playing all the time if you since everything's around the battle pass now.
Right. Um, yeah. I mean, I agree. That's if you do spend a lot of time playing the game, especially since it's a free game, and if you find stuff in the battle pass that you like, your best bet is just to spend the money on the battle pass and ignore the shop entirely. At least monetarily, that's what makes the most sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do like most of the new cosmetic things that they added. I think are kind of neat, like the nameplates and the titles. I think that those are kind of cool. I couldn't give a crap about the like the weapon charms. Those don't do anything for me. I think most of the time, 99% of the time, it's something silly. Like, why do you want a kitty cat hanging from your gun? I don't get it. If you like it, there you go. You got kitty cats hanging from your guns, or whatever the case might be, a pineapple or whatever.
Right. Yeah, I think that's yeah. I am also I guess for me it's a little bit more distracting. I think like did you know for some of the characters they have the charms, like Genji's is right on his hand, right? So that's where the charm is, right? So because he doesn't really have it's not anywhere on his weapon.
Right, because he throws.
Yeah, so it's on his like throwing hand. And then for I thought this was kind of funny. For Moira, it is on her one hand when she's I think it's her, what hand is that? That's her healing hand, I think. Yeah, so it's like I don't know if you I wonder if you can see it. I haven't played, obviously I don't use charms, but I wonder if you can actually see it unless she's like actually doing healing. You don't see it at all, maybe.
So they're not even weapon charms; they're just hand charms. It's a charm.
It's a charm bracelet.
You're getting charm bracelets,
right?
Okay.
For a character, because there's plenty of characters that use their, they're using their hands. So yeah, people like Zenyatta and stuff like that. So
Kiriko probably.
Yeah, Kiriko probably. Yeah, it's probably a yeah, it's on her wrist too. So yeah. So yeah, I think that like they've added some things, whatever, that it doesn't, not a big deal to me. I don't need those. For other people, maybe it gives them a little bit of happiness. So whatever.
Yeah.
I would say that like I find it funny that Blizzard went ahead and released a this game, and a hero from Overwatch 1, Bastion, has not been playable for a majority of the game so far. How hard is it for them? I don't know anything about like what do you call it? About computers when it comes to programming games, but like I just can't believe they can't fix the bug with him. I think he's supposed to come out finally tomorrow, but I just find it funny that like
he's been out for like 2 weeks or something, right? He was in initially and then was gone.
Okay, context. He had basically his ultimate. He would be able to ult continuously, way more times than he could because he has an artillery cannon, and it just go pop, 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 pop. You just like blow everything up every time you got that ult. It's crazy.
I don't know. That sounds pretty good to me. They should have left it in.
Yeah, well, it just kept that in competitive mode.
At least leave it in quick play.
Just ruin everyone's fun. Yeah.
Well, I mean that's Blizzard for you.
Right.
They're the fun police. No, I get them taking it out. I don't get it being gone this long. Because it's been a while. It's been over a week, I think. It might be even
I think
2
it's
weeks.
been over 2 weeks.
Yeah.
About a week and a half.
So I don't know, but that just goes. To me, that kind of goes to their whole problem right now with this. I don't really think that they were ready to put this game out. at all. First of all, the queues. They say like, oh, it was a DDoS initially. It, First of all, I don't know whether it was or not. My personal opinion is it probably wasn't, and they're full of crap. But even say it was, how long did that go on for? A day, maybe two. So what's been the problem since then, Blizzard?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Get your crap together. The other thing is the hero balancing. It's like they didn't test it at all because there's some stuff that just playing a few hours I've been able to pick up on like, oh, that's broken. Um, the amount of damage that Zarya can put out, for example, has been my problem, especially as Reaper, because I try to go for the tanks because usually he's good at killing tanks. Um, she can throw her shield on herself twice back to back, power herself up, and kill you no problem. And even if you try to play a little bit, conservatively and not just burn through her shield or whatever, the cooldown on it is so fast that she constantly has it up if you don't take it off of her, it seems like to me. Now, this is just my opinion and perspective on one character that has issues, but like obviously what with the Bastion bug and Zarya is one thing that I have an issue with. But there are other characters too that I'm just like, that's broken. Like it's so obviously broken. And how did they not realize this? It's like they didn't play the game at all before they sent it out.
Yeah. I think Sojourn, in my opinion, is too powerful. I did see the.
I don't disagree with
I
that
seen
either.
that in the patch notes. I think with the patch notes they're coming out. I think it's this week or the next week or something like soon. They're going to be basically updating, basically Zarya and some other characters too, so that they're not that what do you call it, overpower. Basically increasing the like reducing her time that she has it, and I think increasing the time before she can rebubble. So hopefully they can balance it. It's in my opinion just not that great of look for a game that they've been. It's not like it's a brand new game out of nowhere. It's literally their same game,
Right.
and they just made changes.
Hmm.
Yeah, hopefully they can get it updated soon, and I think Overwatch League starts in the next week or two too. So I think I don't know. Hopefully they can figure it out. I haven't been super impressed. I've enjoyed my time. I'm not saying I hate the game. But I think it definitely has problems to work out. I just kind of feel like this was rushed. From what I've heard is that when I've read online is that they basically been working on the PvE for a while, and then the last year they started working on the PvP side. So
That doesn't make any sense.
I think the PvE, I look forward to it. It just kind of sucks that they couldn't wait to release Overwatch 2 with PvE. My guess is that they just needed, the number of players playing Overwatch 1 was down to what they wanted. They wanted more influx of money, so they wanted to get Overwatch 2 out as soon as possible.
That's kind of what it seems like to me as well. I mean, I don't know. It just seems strange to me, but like again, I'm not on the back end like you were saying. It's not like I'm programming the game, so what the hell do I know? But it seems strange to me that uh, they kind of already had this game in place with heroes balanced to the point where I say balanced. I don't know how great it was at the end of Overwatch 1, but they had this all in place, and then they sort of move it over to this game, change a few things, and it's completely out of whack. And I just don't quite know why they did that. Like it's like they did it to themselves just to screw themselves up. I don't really get that, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't understand it either.
Yeah, yep. I think there's a lot of things that they need to fix and do better on, but that also is kind of Blizzard in a nutshell. The past 3 to 5 years that they just sort of put out mediocre product.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, there are some things that I liked about Overwatch 2 or do like. One of the things that was big for me is I've already complained about it, is the open queue. Because I don't like locking in and being, I have to be a tank or I have to be a DPS or I can't change up and maybe be a DPS and my friend switch to a tank or whatever. So that's something that I like, that they have both an open queue for quick play and an open queue for competitive.
Yeah, it allows you to play the way you want, especially with your friends. I think that's a great idea that they brought back. And
Yeah.
I don't want to be all doom and gloom because I mean I'm still playing the game quite a bit. I'm still
Mhm.
enjoying myself. I just want to, the things that I think we're talking about is things because we want to see improvements because we want the game to be good because we don't
Oh
we
yeah.
don't hate the game. We
Hmm.
just want it to be a better game.
Yeah, for sure. Um, that's mostly what we
Yeah, I
have.
don't really have anything else. Um, yeah. There.
I think we were gonna list some other things we like, but I don't really have anything off the top of my head.
No,
So
I don't really either. Plus, there's like, the only thing is there's things I would have said farther back, but I don't really have any.
yeah.
Yeah. We can end it.
Okay.
All right.
How are you gonna end it?
Me? I was relying on you to carry me to victory.
Oh, how am I gonna do
I don't know.
that?
Uh,
On
so let's
put you on my back as Reaper and carry you to victory.
exactly. Thanks for listening today about Overwatch 2. We don't hate the game. We just want it to be better. Be better, Blizzard.
Yes, be better.
Uh,
Please do
do
better.
better.